Now, Mr. Yu, all dads have that story, right? Just like you think about it, you start smiling, and it sometimes only makes sense to you, but all dads have that story. So, what is your funny dad story?
I think funny is relative, but this is one of those things that my wife and I we talk about every once in a while. We kind of just chuckle at it now. In the moment, it wasn't a funny story. Excuse me, but we had a parent teachers conference, and we were in a district in an area of the state. I'm not going to point out where that is to not purposely offend anybody, but we were in a particular district that was kind of known for not caring about people of certain races and creeds. Just put it like that. And I was at a parent teachers conference for one of my daughters, and the teacher, the administrator, she would not acknowledge me. I mean, my wife looks the same as me, but she wouldn't acknowledge me at all. It was just like, I guess, a woman to woman thing, and the man was not important. So, and on top of that, there was a little bit of a history of fathers not showing up for their kids in this regard. So it was out of the norm. So I'm from New York City, man. I'm a straight shooter. I talk, look at you in the eye, and we get down to business and put in that work. So for me, I was there to take care of the issues that was going on with my child, and I didn't care about all of the history. I didn't care about all of the peripheral stuff. And she would acknowledge me, and she just kept kind of ignoring me, and I did something that was kind of a little bit out of character because I didn't want to make a bad scene, but I put her in that place real good. And I told her, I said, this is my child, and she tried to make it about me being a step parent and how I didn't have a real say. I said, this is my daughter. You ain't gonna tell me how to run my daughter's life and my daughter. This is our thing. This is our thing. You just teach her. That's your assignment. But this is I raised her. You know what I'm saying? I live with her. You know what I'm saying? It turned into a big thing. I don't think we got anything settled. I found out what I needed to find out about my daughter and her education and everything. But I thought it was funny because I didn't expect that for myself, even though I got a history of dealing with hard stuff in harder ways being from New York. But it was funny, man, to come down here to the South and had to deal with something like that and see how I handled it. 'Cause a lot of folks try to assimilate to the culture and do what the Romans do, so to speak. I'm like, no, I'm going to do with me. This is my family. I got to fight for this. My family is worth fighting for, and I'll fight all of y'all to defend my kids. So it wasn't funny in the moment because I put kind of created a repetition for us as parents. When we showed up, everybody was on notice, like, you know what? Here they come. What's getting ready to happen now? But my goal wasn't to have that kind of rep. It was just to make sure that I established some boundaries with these people who didn't know me and didn't really know my daughter the way I do, and let them know that we're real parents and we're here for the long haul. And if you mess with them, you're messing with me. And I'm gonna come and see you. So I thought it was funny. We laugh about it from time to time, and it's a funny story that we tell every once in a while. But I thought it was funny.
Now, I actually find it highly amusing because I a lot of people haven't moved around. Like they live in like one area their whole lives, and they don't understand the culture shock when you go from one area of this country to another. And like
Mm.
people treat you incredibly differently based on their experiences. Just you know, without adding anything else to it, without adding race or anything else to it, like people are going to treat you a certain way based on their experiences.
Oh yeah.
Funny, like a teacher was that's
She,
was
I
it.
think I think she was used to being the boss, and maybe she was the boss in every area of her life. And I think it was so natural to her. I think that's what she was doing in every area of her life. I think these days you probably call her a Karen, but that's beside the point. But it just feel like that's what she was really comfortable talking to me or talking around me in a certain way, and I, I couldn't let that stand, man. Sometimes you gotta just let stuff go and not make everything into a power struggle. But I couldn't do it this time. Maybe I was too weak. Maybe I was too strong. I don't know which one it was, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't let her do that to me. So I, I asserted my authority. I asserted my dominance in the situation where I thought I had it, and I let her have it. I set her straight.
Hey, I'm all for it, man.
And it
I
felt good.
who they are. This is my kid. Like, engage with me. This is my kid.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love that you are fighting for your kids. It's like you just kind of spend time with them. They're mine, right?
Yeah.
Lay that claim.
Yeah. As men, we got it rough, man. People don't think that, but there's a lot of things that we have to deal with. It's not easy. People think it's easy to be a man. It's not. The responsibilities are super great.
My guest today, Mr. Yu, had some incredible insights into the fact that life works a whole lot differently when you come together with your spouse, a united front. So today on this episode of the Dad Hat Shenanigans Podcast, we're talking firsthand with a man who went from we have no plan on this, we're just going to wing it, to what it looks like when you come together with your spouse and the difference that makes in raising your kids, with some great stories, some great insights, and a great dad hat story. Guys, dig into this episode with Mr. Yu right after this word from our sponsors. Right now, MyPillow is having a 2-for-1 sale. The first is a closeout sale on the Percale bed sheets. Any size, any color, just $29.88. That's right, you can even get queens, kings, split kings, and California kings. Any size, any color, $29.88. 11 colors to choose from, and when they're gone, guys, and they're disappearing fast, so order soon. The second is a sale to celebrate their new energy drink, Rev 7. Now, guys, I absolutely love Rev 7. I did an entire video review on it, and it is actually officially my favorite energy drink. It is the best energy drink I've ever had, honest to God. A premium energy drink that's actually good for you. It tastes great. It gives you energy all day long. I will testify that. Plus, it has no sugar, no caffeine, so you don't experience jitters or a crash, and we've all been through that with other energy drinks. What makes Rev 7 so special is it's powered with Cognizin, a premium nootropic that helps fuel your mind, and Go BHB, which is a primary ketone in your body that provides the most efficient and cleanest fuel ever. Guys, I feel amazing when I am drinking Rev 7. That's why I drink it. That's why I love it. And I've been an energy drink guy for years. MyPillow is so confident that you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time, you can try their introductory 3-pack absolutely free. That's right, absolutely free. It just costs you shipping. Guys, order now, because when the sheets are gone, the sale is over and they're just emptying the warehouse. So order quickly. I ordered a couple of sets myself for the house, and you can get Rev 7 either as a one-off. You can try the 3-pack absolutely free, or you can get a subscription-based model for Rev 7. Guys, this drink is amazing. I absolutely love it, and I think you will too. Now, let's jump back into the show with the incredible Mr. Yu. Welcome to the Dad Hat Shenanigans Podcast, the unfiltered truth about being a dad. Real dads, real stories, unfiltered, candid conversations on fatherhood. I'm your host, Brent Allen, and today my guest is a man of many hats himself, with one of the most important being dad, Yusef Marshall. But you might know him more as his common nomenclature, aka the incredible Mr. Yu. Mr. Yu, welcome to the Dad Hat Shenanigans Podcast.
Thank you, man. Oh, I'm excited, man. I got the dad part straight. I think I got the hat. I'm ready for it. Let's go, right, man. I'm excited. Thanks for having me on, man.
I've actually had people show up without hats. Like, that's why there's so much on that in our conversation.
Ooh, that's like a violation.
Right? It's the first instruction. Bring a hat. But hey, speaking of hat, okay, you're wearing a White Castle ball cap. Tell us the dad hat story. What's up with the dad hat?
Oh, it's funny. To be clear, I would never have bought this myself. I have a long White Castle history. When I was a little kid, I told the story to my daughter so many times. I think that's how it got started. But growing up back in New York City, you know, I had time for breakfast, but I had one of those lives where I was like a latchkey kid. So I had to kind of do my own thing, get out of the house, and I had to go to a different borough to go to school. So I had to take two trains and a bus to go to high school. So for me, the White Castle was at the bus stop I had to be at to get off the train to get on the bus. So it was natural breakfast. and it became a thing all 4 years. Every day of school, breakfast. I didn't get breakfast at home, so because I was just rushing to get out of there, so to get on the trains. The train is late. You're late for school, so we're just me being early. So White Castle was the option. I ate White Castle for breakfast for 4 years, and you know what? It doesn't sound appetizing like a good breakfast, but it was the breakfast of champions, and I loved it, and I ate it every single day, and I sometimes I even had it for lunch. I was that into it. Sometimes dinner too. I love White Castle. But after a while, there's a reputation about the burgers though. You can't eat that stuff and not pay a cost to eat this food. Let's just put it like that, without getting gross on your show. But my daughter's heard the story many times, and I've been a fan of the ones in the frozen variety because I moved away from where there were White Castle restaurants, so I couldn't find that stuff where I lived after I left home in New York. So they were bottles for me, at random out of the supermarket and everything. And after a while, I backed off it. But my grandkids wanted to give me a Father's Day gift, so they got me a cup that says, you're the best Papa in the world, and all kinds of the greatest Papa and all kind of stuff. And this hat was also in one of the gifts. I'm like, a White Castle hat. It reminded me that they were actually listening to my stories and they actually heard me because I didn't think they would listen to me, but they obviously heard me, and they came together and figured out that a White Castle hat would be an awesome gift. This is actually my first time wearing it. Don't tell anybody, because I'm not gonna wear. I'm not gonna wear it out on the street. But I'm proud of my gift. It came from my kids and my grandkids. So I'm with it. But this is my first time actually wearing it. So I'm out trying to make it fit this morning and everything. But great memories came from me putting it on my head today, and thanks for give me the opportunity to even do that. This was really good. I'm thinking about all kind of cool stuff that happened that came with it. So my Father's Day gift for my kids and my grandkids, White Castle. Here we go. History.
That's awesome. Like some women don't understand, like men have hats that just like actual physical hats, right? I have a ball cap from the 91, 92, 93 back-to-back Rose Bowl championships for for the Huskies.
Okay.
Because it was a really important time in my life, and that was when like our quarterback from that year went on to play pro ball. He was the quarterback for Jacksonville for when they formed, and so like, but I mean, it is dirty and gross. My wife's like, throw it away. I'm like, no,
just wash it. Don't throw it away.
I'm afraid to wash that one. It might fall apart. I think the oil's holding it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's. I have that collection of hats, other than this fancy showy one, but I love the White Castle hat because you have such a story behind that, right? And your kids were listening, which is like even better that they got it for you.
I'm amazed, yeah. But
how many kids?
Really cool.
You have kids and grandkids. I got that.
Yeah, 3 grown daughters, 6 grandkids, and we found out about 8 months ago that we have a great grandchild. I haven't met yet, so.
Oh my goodness, bro.
I'm gonna take a sip on that one.
Yeah, for sure. Cheers to great.
It's amazing, but here we are, man.
Before we go too much farther, Mr. Yu, tell us about yourself for those who are joining us today who don't know you already. You guys can catch me over on his show, and soon you'll catch him on my other show. But for people who don't know Mr. Yu and you have not found one of your fantastic podcasts or some of your other adventures, we'll call it adventures, tell us about you.
Wow, about me. Like you said earlier, and that's kind of how I describe myself now. Kind of a jack of all trades and a wearer of many hats. I've done so many things in life that I try to talk about it in the show, just kind of just put it out there where it doesn't sound like it's self-aggrandizing. And kind of just talk about the many things that I got valuable experiences from. But currently, I guess I can be described as a ordained minister, a podcaster, as you well know. I'm the director of a new nonprofit. That's kind of where all my energy is going right now. I mean, the husband father piece is always present, but those are the things that I do, I guess, in life, in the world and stuff. I mean, I got a lot of things. I was a singer and songwriter for years. I was an author of my first book. I've done so many things. I was a leader in industry with the government, border security and passports and stuff. I mean, I was doing a lot of stuff. So I guess I'm just, trying to just live this purpose out and be the best version of myself that I can be. And I'm trying to find myself in this world of podcasting and media and trying to be the professional encourager. If I can describe myself, I guess that's what I am. I'm a professional encourager. I'm a professional friend. That's what I'm trying to do right now. So that's kind of my goal to help some folks out grow in their purpose and help them get some answers to some lifelong questions. So that's the goal of the podcast, and that's the goal of my private conversations with people and my consultations, etc. That's what I'm doing, man. So
I love it.
that's
I
fun
like
stuff.
the professional encourager title. There are a lot of people these days who could use some encouragement. So I think you're doing great things there, and I absolutely love your show.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Like I say, guys, you can find me on his show, but find his show because his show is a lot of fun. He's got great conversations going on with people. I enjoyed being on it, but I just like after listening to it, getting ready to be on your show, it's like you got a great show, man. I love it. So fine.
Your episode was awesome too, man. Your episode with us was amazing, man.
I
Hope they
should
catch that too.
say
That was good.
find one of his shows because you have three. Is it 3 or 4?
Yeah, you got three. Well, you're just three now. One's a sports show for our hometown NFL team, but the other two are just encouragement, teaching, purpose, leadership development. That's what the other two shows are all about. So that's all we're doing there. But yeah, just one sports show. But
Well, see,
absolutely.
I had to launch a third show just so I could keep up with you, bro.
Go for it, man.
This is the
you had 5. I couldn't do it.
This is the third show. So
okay.
After hanging out with you on your show, I was like, man, I'm dropping the ball. I'm not doing enough here. So
I hope I didn't send that message because that was not my intention. We used to have 5. I had to pull back and say, this is not. I got to use my time wisely. So that's why I pulled back from having 5. I'm like, okay, I got to be focused on what's the most important thing. What's the goal here? What am I trying to accomplish? Do these other shows help me accomplish that goal? If they don't, they got to go. And one of the shows was the most popular one that we had. We had 22,000 followers on one network from that show. We had to kill it though. Like, it was my decision though. Nobody forced me into that. I just said, you know what, this is not going to help me get to the goal that I have. So I love sports. I talk about it pretty fluidly, but it wasn't worth investing that kind of time into it. So we put it to bed earlier this month. So
that's
like I said, man, I'm all about purpose, man.
That's a whole nother conversation we'll have to get into on another day for sure.
Sure thing.
What's the best part about being a dad and now a granddad? Like you can this one if you want.
Well, the best part about the granddad part is that you can hang out with them and send them back home. That's the best part about that part. As far as being a dad, though, I think the best part is just knowing that you learn how to sacrifice. And I know that people talk about that kind of stuff. Some parents go overboard where they begin to worship their children and try to live their lives through their children, and the children don't want what they're trying to live out through them. It's an ugly scene. But I think one of the biggest things for me that I think is the best thing is the sacrifice part, because the world around us, and I'm not trying to go political or anything like that, just kind of just talking generally speaking, we forgot what honor and sacrifice look like. And we out here trying to get, and we don't realize what it takes, what the cost is for us to even have what we actually do have that we don't really respect or that we don't really cherish or honor. And being a father, it causes you to learn sacrifice real quick. You learn about, what it means to give up what you want and what your goal was in life in order to make sure that theirs comes true. And that's not an easy thing to do. As a parent, especially a loving parent, you had to give up some things that you want in favor of making sure that your children are taken care of. So I had to learn. I mean, coming from the place where I come from, geographically, I needed to learn that. That was important for me. So being a dad was a blessing. I would say it saved my life, because I could have been in a different place in some stuff. And being a father gave me responsibilities off the bat. I had to learn about, okay, you know what? This ain't about you. This whole thing's not about you. And kind of help foster great things in my kids so they can be the best them that they can be in this crazy world. So sacrifice was the biggest lesson, and I think it's the best thing that happened to me personally as a dad. So
I love it. I've listened to other men talk about becoming fathers and how radically it changed their lives. And I've heard more than one express the idea that really it's what saved me. Like you think like your kids think you're doing amazing things for them, but honestly, like our kids do so much for us. Like my life is so much richer because of my daughters and fuller. Like I laugh more. I enjoy my life more. I'm more passionate
That's
about it.
awesome.
Right. So no matter where you're coming from, it's I've seen this over and over again with a lot of dads. Like, man, my kids have no idea how much they save me. Like, and I love, you know, I want to be Superman for my kids, right? So I want to set that bar high, and I want to be Superman, but like I have to wait till they're older, because mine are 10 or 13, to be like, actually, really, like you're the ones who saved me. You know, I can't tell them that yet. You know,
You know, it's gonna be a minute for you can share that story. It's gonna be a minute, but
yeah, a little bit.
yeah.
And Mr. Yu, you wanted to we talked about what we're going to talk about today and kick some ideas around, and I'm really like to this idea of talking about the importance of having a united front with your spouse or your partner in raising your, because they will learn ruthless precision how to conquer and divide and conquer very quickly. Like it's an instinctual thing. So let's talk about having that united front when with your spouse as you're raising kids and what that means.
Wow, it played out almost like a movie, and because I used to write screenplays and write books and manuscripts and that kind of stuff, I get the whole creative side of movies. You know, I get into the plot twist and that kind of stuff, and our life played out like that because we went into this thing happy. Everybody was good. We were excited about our situation, family wise, and everything, and it was just all good. Started off flowers, rainbows, the whole deal, peaches and puppies. It was just great. And then the bottom fell out. People started, you know, on different sides of the family started getting involved in our life and speaking and trying to manipulate our, you know, our members of our home from the outside and trying to just kind of stick their nose in our family business and stuff. And it turned into a thing where we had almost like every day was a walking on a land, trying to avoid landmines in your house. You know, and that's not it's not good in war. It's not good in life either, in family. And we lived that for many years, and it got to the point where my wife and I were like, we didn't. I don't think we said it outright, but we wondered if we were going to make it because it was just too much stuff happening, and she was starting to have pity for me. And like, just it's all good. Just, you know, this is my problem, not yours, and not we. You're free to do whatever you want. I mean, I'm sorry to put all this stuff on you. And I told her to shut her mouth. I said that many times to her. I said, shut your mouth. I'm here. I'm here with you. Me and you made the commitment here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people talk about where the kids should be in the family dynamic, and that's a different conversation for a different day. But for me, we got to the place where we were literally at the end of our ropes. That's not hyperbole. That's really where we were. And we were like, okay, we got to do something. And I don't know if it was an epiphany. It wasn't because of a book that we either of us were reading. I don't know what happened and where it came from, but we somehow it just clicked that, you know what? When these kids get older, they're not going to be here. So all the damage that they're doing right now, they're going to leave us behind, and we're going to be in the rubble of this. And they're going to go on to their lives. They're going to go on and go to school and college, I guess, whatever, and get married and do their own thing in life. And we'll still be here trying to clean up. So what we figured out during that time was, you know what? It's time for a united front. If nothing else matters, the only thing that matters is our relationship, you and I. Now, I'm telling you right now, that didn't go over well with people, generally speaking, because they all think that their kids are their world and the kids is everything. No offense to anybody that's listening, but they think that the kids should be at the priority. As a matter of fact, they're supposed to be the highest thing on the food chain. I don't agree with that. So for my wife and I, we said, you know what? You and I are the relationship. We got to maintain this above everything else. If our kids hate us and loathe us, which they did, you know what I'm saying? That's fine. Perhaps that'll change over time. They'll get past that. Maybe perhaps we'll have some kind of a Jesus meeting, come to Jesus meeting, and maybe we get through that. But at the end of the day, my wife and I are we are the union. We are the relationship. Everything else is a component of that or offshoot of that. So when we figured that part out, it was a game changer for us. We figured out, you know what? It's you and I. We got to be in agreement. They can't talk to you about one thing and tell me something different. They can't ask me for something that you said no to already. No, we got to be on the same page. And when we did that, it killed a whole lot of the machinations that our kids had about trying to divide and get their way with some things. Want to go to parties that we wouldn't approve of, be around folks that we didn't like, that kind of stuff. It killed all of that stuff because we had a united front, and it just uh kind of foreshadow how important unity is in a marriage. You can't you can't give that up for your kids because it would be the end of you. You can't do it. So when we figured that part out, we were stronger than we ever have been before. Next year, we're going to be celebrating our 30th year in marriage. You know, and neither one of us thought it was going to happen. so that's probably what my I thought the United Front was a powerful message to kind of share today because a lot of people are not doing it. I see it all the time. I'm not pointing anybody out that I know that may be watching this, but I see it all the time. The kids are the decision makers in the households. If they scream loud enough in Walmart and fall out, they get that candy. They get that teddy bear. They decide they move the needle in their household. And I'm sorry, but that's just not. I don't care what the situation is. That just cannot possibly. Okay, that child's a miracle child. You didn't think should be here. They should have died, but they survived. They still don't have the right to run your whole household and run your marriage. I'm so sorry. They just can't do that. It's you and your spouse, and that's it. Everybody else got to come in line with that fact. That's the most. I mean, it's from the beginning of time. It started off with that male and female, husband and wife. Everything else came from that. So the child can't be the boss. I'm so sorry. The child can't be the queen. She can be a princess, but she can't be the queen. The son can be a prince, but he can't be the king. You know what I'm saying? So for me and my wife, when we figured that part out, it was a game changer for us. It changed everything. The whole power dynamic shifted. And we still had some challenges and stuff, and we knew that there were some things that that weren't quite right, but we had that part down pat. We were together. We were in it for the long haul. We're going for as many years as we're going to be blessed to have on this earth, and we're going to do all of it being married and staying married and staying in love with each other. When we decided that, it was a wrap. Nothing could come between us. And people tried. So many, so many have tried to split us up. We're still here almost 30 years, brother. The power of unity, man.
So congratulations on almost 30 years.
Thank you, sir.
That's so big these days. Like we just celebrated our 24th anniversary last month.
Oh, sweet, baby. That's good.
And like people were like, "Oh my God, you guys have been married for so long." We know people who have been married like 50 plus years, and it's horrifying to me that like people's expectations have lowered so far when it comes to couples staying together. But let's unpack this a little bit because I love what you said. In that moment, you realized, hey, after they're gone, it's us. Like they're this much, and I mean, you have grandkids now, and a great grandchild, right? Your kids are always going to be part of your life, or hopefully, as a parent.
Yeah.
But
we're working on it.
And the time period where they're in your house is a fragment of what's to come, right? Of your life together. That dynamic changed things radically for you guys. It's like, hey, it's us, right? We gotta hold through this no matter what.
Oh yeah.
And you said like there was resistance from your kids on this.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because they kind of felt like I think this might be a gender type situation. The daughters, and the mothers have a certain relationship, and it's special, and it's distinct and different from a daughter and a father. Excuse me. So they kind of felt like, hey, you're a girl like us. You should understand why we want to do this. You should be on our side. Us against the men. What was the story I shared about the school administrator? It's us women against the men. It's like men against it's power struggle. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't work in this kind of household, the kind of household that we're trying to forge and build. It doesn't work. So yeah, there was a little bit of a power struggle. They were trying to get her on their side to come against the tyrannical man, the father who's laying down the law. We must dethrone him.
One of,
It was ridiculous, but it's a real thing that happens in households. It's a real thing.
one of the earliest conversations I had with my daughters about what they will actually be in trouble for, right? The things that will actually get them in trouble in our household. One of the very first things that my wife and I laid out is if you come to one of us and ask us something and get an answer, and then you don't like that answer, so you try and go to the other one to get a different answer without telling the other one you already asked us. Like if you try and play us against each other, there is almost nothing else that will escalate things more quickly on the back end for you guys, because we find out you're trying to play us against each other, and like I don't get angry. I when I was younger I had anger issues. I worked through those. It takes a lot for me to actually I might get a little louder, but I don't actually get really angry about things most of the time anymore. But it's like you want to see me mad. Let's not play mom and dad, because my wife and I both grew up working with children and being around a lot of children. I have nieces who are all adults now, and so we watched my siblings go through this, and we watched other friends' kids play this game of playing mom against dad, and it's like, nope, that's not happening.
Right.
I'm amazed how many parents don't seem to understand that is going on in their household. Right? How many dads listening right now don't understand, because you may be busy working or whatever you're doing as the father, as the dad, and I know you're trying to be involved in your kid's life, so you wouldn't be listening to a podcast like this. But how often is your kid going behind you and trying to play your wife against you to get what they want? Right? And that's what you're talking. My wife's first response is, well, what'd your dad say? And my first response is always, well, what'd your mom say? Because I just assume they went to her first. And they don't always. Like, my kids have learned. They've been conditioned at this point. But that's our first question, because, like, did you talk to the other person in charge in this household? And it changes your relationship with your kids. Now, I want to talk about the example you're setting for your children by having this united front. How do you think that impacts them going forward with their relationships?
I got a chance to see a really bad example played out with one of my girls, and I think one that somewhat decent example. But what I think in hindsight, looking back at it, what I think happened was we showed them an example of what a healthy marriage should look like. In the moment, that wasn't what our goal was. We were just trying to survive the onslaught. It was. It may sound dramatic and hyperbolic, but it really was. It was really hellish for us, in a lot of different ways. But I think what we tried to show them was just an example of what a healthy marriage should look like, what communication should look like between spouses and parents of young children, what should look like to deal with conflict, conflict resolution type stuff. And I hope that we showed that. I seen, you know, my one of my daughters, the only one that has actually married somebody. They've dated and been with people, but they haven't. My daughter, my youngest, is the only one who's just actually married to somebody, and it looks like it's a pretty decent relationship. There's some enabling that goes on there and stuff. But that's a side note. But but beside that, I think that we try to show them, what it looks like to talk and be there for each other. I mean, because if you take cues from the media and arts and entertainment and that kind of stuff, I mean, a healthy, wholesome marriage is like it's kind of hard to find. You got to go to certain networks to find this. You know what I'm saying? Even sometimes, even that's suspect. So it's like you really have to dig deep to find anybody trying to really do it right, at least in those mediums anyway. And in real life, we know people are doing it all around the world. It's not that unique. It just appears to be that way because of what we are fed. But I try to just show them what it looks like to be healthy communicators, to be healthy in dealing with adversity and how we handle it, being more responsive and not so reactive. And we try to just teach them that. To be honest, man, I don't know if they learn that. I don't know if they got it down. I don't know if they pull from it from time to time in their relationships. I really can't tell. Uh, Sad to say, I don't have great examples of big wins. That hey, man, look at we helped them get there. I don't know, man. I hope that we see that in times to come. There's been times where one of my daughters, because she lived with us with her and her two of her three children for a little while. So I got to hear some of her thoughts and questions and stuff. And I could tell even that, I guess I take that as a small win. The question that she asked us let us know that she was paying attention all those years, even though she was making our lives hell. She was paying attention to what was going on, and she kind of picked up on some things about what a good relationship should look like. So I'll give her, I'll celebrate that small W. That's probably one of those. I'll do that.
You got to take the wins where you can get them, man. That's
Yeah, yeah.
kids see what you're doing so much more than what you hear or what you tell them, I should say.
hmm
So modeling that in your own marriage, right? Modeling that it's us first. We are the core of this family. We are the strength of this family. And you said if you found it like life got easier as a parent when you actually had this united front with your wife, was just more security. How that play?
Yeah. I think it helped us to formulate a plan. Because there's more to it than that, but I'm trying to break it down best as I can without being too clunky. But when we went into it, we knew each other for 3 months before we got married, and we knew it was going to be a real thing for us. We just kind of knew it. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, love at first sight." I'm not gonna get cheesy about it, but we just knew within that 3 month period. You know what? This is my wife. This is my husband. This was going to happen, and we honored that. We went through with it, and we did it. And but I can't say we really had a plan. We did premarital counseling and little things to help ourselves. We've been in marital workshops and stuff. Things to kind of help educate us about what it looks like to step into this. But we didn't have a real plan. And I think we had to have that the moment before we had the United Front, or the moments before, it revealed that we didn't have a plan. It revealed that we didn't have an idea where we were going to go with this. We knew we wanted to stay married. That wasn't really that, that's more of a hope. It's not really a strategy. So we didn't really have a plan. Like, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what we're aiming for. This is how we're going to do things in our house when it comes to raising our children. We didn't really formulate a plan. We kind of said, we're going to just do this, and we were winging it. We were winging it for several years. To be honest about it, my wife, if she was here, she would agree. I ain't talking. I ain't saying anything that's out of pocket. We were winging it. So, that being said, when we got that united front, it made us, you know what? It's time to start strategizing. We kind of went into a war type mentality. It was really weird, but I understand why, but that's a side topic too. But it was we started making plans. We started mapping stuff out, writing out plans and ideas. Excuse me, this is what we're gonna do. This is the structure. I mean, we started making, getting things in order. And when you have a plan, man, you can do so many different things when you have a plan. I know plans change and life changes. Life be life and sometimes. But it was so good that we had a plan and a strategy. And I think that was a game changer for us because did it make things easier? I think some things were a little bit easier. Because we knew that when people came at us with the ends of or try to, get personal because they couldn't have their way, try to, take deep digs at us, we were able to deflect it a whole lot better. Like, yeah, that's okay. The plan is still going on. If you want to be a part of it, you sure can. If you want to stay on the ship, you sure can. But we're heading this direction. So if you don't want to be on here, your only recourse is to jump off. So this is kind of what it made things a little bit easier. We still had to go through some struggles and some wars, and they're very well documented. But the bottom line was that, yeah, it helped us, having a strategy and having a plan for our life and deciding what we were going to do, or at least having some kind of goals, 5, 10, 15-year goals. It helped us. It helped us recognize that, you know what, this is about you and I. We got to live this life out. We can't compromise it for people who aren't even going to be here, who aren't even going to be driving on this ship with us. They may be visitors, but they're not going to be here. Like you and I are going to be here. Let's fight for our happiness and to walk in the blessings and be the you and I that we're supposed to be. So
I can
does that
actually.
make sense? I hope it does.
Oh, it does. I'm laughing because like I can literally hear the young dads who have like just little ones right now listening to this conversation being a little freaked out because my wife and I, we try and go and actually like do usually every year we try and do like one like marriage seminar or class and one on
Cool.
is like we intentionally try and go do something together, right? We find our church or one of the churches in the area hosting a parenting class or a marriage class, and we try and put back into us every year. But like at the last parenting class, we were one of 2 couples that had kids over the age of 6. Like the rest of them were like really new parents.
Oh wow.
And Sarah and I would say things and the looks on some of their faces, like my wife was like, you love your children. There are days you don't like them. And I just want to wring their necks. You love them. You just really don't like who they are right now. And like, I saw all these young parents like just look horrified that she would say, right, that there are days you don't like your children or like, you're like, right. And so I can hear the young fathers now going, wait, this doesn't sound like a fatherhood conversation. He's talking about like going to war and barely surviving and it being hellish. Gentlemen, as your kids get older, you're going to have different phases of their lives, and there will be times. It doesn't make it bad, as far as like it does not make fatherhood not worth it. It just understand there will be really rough times with your children at times as they grow through the different phases of their life. So for the young dads right now who are just holding like a 9-month-old or something or a 1-year-old, trust me, you'll get there. It's okay. And you're still going to love that kid, but there will be times you're like, why did I do this? What was I thinking?
It's going to happen, man. But it's okay.
You got a dad joke for us?
Yeah, this was a challenge to me because even though I've been a dad for a while, the dad joke trend, I never got involved with it, but I do have one. You guys can decide if it's good or bad. I have no idea. But here's my dad joke. Do you know where all the dad jokes are kept?
Where?
In the database.
Fair play. Definitely a dad joke. That's one of the hard things. Right? A lot of dad jokes, those in the moment things where you're like, right? Because it plays in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter, she's 13. My oldest daughter's 13, so I get the eye roll with the puns.
Oh no!
Because like I'm quick with the puns, and she's like, "Really, Dad? Really?" I get that look, but she is supportive. She got me this dad jokes book for the show, so.
Oh sweet!
It's like, hey, I get so much grief when I make a dad joke, and you're like, but you give me a book. She's like, well, you're not funny, so you need help with the show.
Oh wow! I would actually she approved of the jokes in the book, but I guess that doesn't really matter now. She doesn't even think you're funny. So this is like,
yeah, it's fair. I'm not like the funniest person in the world, so I figure she's helping me on this one.
Okay. I hope she approves of your growth. in this area.
Mr. Yu,
It's funny.
what is the one thing you really want people to hear today?
I think since we're talking about dad, I'm kind of just staying in the theme of this, the fatherhood journey. Uh, One thing is that even though the assignment is going to be daunting a lot of the time, you know, don't don't neglect the power of community. I've been sharing this for the past 3 weeks on different shows. It just it just something I'm really passionate about. Don't neglect the importance of community, because the minute you're in isolation, and I'm saying it because I was actually in it in these stories I was sharing with you. That's where I didn't have any other dad supporting me. I wasn't in any kind of communities. I was solo, trying to figure it out all in my head based on my own experiences and stuff. The importance of community, it changed that for me, and it would change it for you too. I mean, it's not going to make everything go away in your household, because you got to go home, lock the door, close the blinds, and still live in that situation. You know what I'm saying? But the community part, man, every time that I've seen that when it's done right, it's a beautiful thing. And as men, we struggle to connect a lot of the time, but we need to have that community. So I would say embrace that wherever you can find it. If you can only find it in one or two people who you just trust to talk to you about fatherhood stuff, whether it be Brent or even if it's myself or both of us, if you just feel like you can talk to us in a transparent way, and it's helpful for you and it's healthy for you, embrace it, man. That community is how we grow the most, and it helps us to get off of the ledge when we want to jump a lot of the time. So that's what I would say.
And gentlemen, if you're struggling with connecting with the people in your life in a meaningful way, the people that really matter to you, message me directly on Instagram or go to my website, purposedrivenmen.com. There's a bubble down in the corner. When you click on it, you can send me a video message, an audio message, a text message. I'm super, super reachable. And, let's talk. My Relationship Titans program may be exactly what you need. I know a lot of guys who got really busy trying to build and kind of let the relationship side of their life go. If you're in that place with your kids or with your spouse, let's talk. Maybe my program's right for you. If not, I know some great relationship coaches besides myself who would love to talk to you and help you get back on track with the people who truly matter in your life. Mr. Yu, where is the best place for people to connect with you?
The best place. I'll probably say our YouTube channel, youtube.com they call me Mr. Yu, Mistayu. I'll probably say that's probably the best way. Uh, on many of our show notes, we have usually some links where you can kind of schedule a consultation with me, a 30-minute free consultation. I'm not sure if people are even seeing it, so that's another story, but that's available in a lot of places too. We can have a talk about purpose, about fatherhood, just about us as men, just connecting and building community. I'm a big advocate for that. So, but the YouTube channel is the best way to probably get me right now, though.
And guys, as always, we'll have Mr. Yu's links all down in the show notes, or the YouTube description, Rumble,
Let's
wherever.
go.
Also on the page on my website with this episode, we'll have all the ways you can connect with Mr. Yu and some of our past collaborations, and the future collaborations will go there as well, because this will not be the last conversation we have.
Oh gosh, I hope not. It's good.
Guys, thanks for joining us today on the Dad Hat Shenanigans Podcast, a community of dads just navigating life challenges together. Until next time, laugh, learn, and live the dad life.